What's up, everybody? In just a few hours, UFC 310 will be upon us. Now, this is the last pay-per-view event for the UFC, and it's a pretty stacked card. It doesn't have like those killer main event, but hey, I mean, there are a ton of fights on this, and this is the great thing about the UFC. They may not have the greatest main event on a card, but they have so many fighters, so many big name, skilled fighters on the roster. It's easy to pad things up to where the fans don't feel like they are the fans are not disappointed, and I don't believe we're going to be disappointed at UFC 310 at all. I mean, there's so many great fights on this card. So I came here. I know it's a little late, but I'm trying to give my predictions for some of the fights, not all of them, just some of them that I'm going to pick here one by one and give you my predictions. And please, when I'm done, I want you to go to the comment section below to let me know whether you agree or disagree with my predictions, or if you have any particular fight I didn't mention that you would like to talk about or give a prediction for. Now, the first fight I'm going to give a predictions for is Chris Weidman versus Eric Anders. Now, this fight was supposed to happen about a week ago. Unfortunately, Eric Anders fell sick due to food poisoning, and the fight had been moved to UFC 310, and we can't wait to see it. So I believe it's going to be a great fight, and I'm going to pick Chris Weidman to win this fight by doctor stoppage by technical eye pokes. So guys, all right, so let's move on to the next fight. Okay, we have Randy Brown versus Brian Battle. Let's remind everybody that Brian Battle missed weight by 4 pounds, came in a little heavy. But it's interesting though, when you looked at them during the face-off, Randy Brown looked so much bigger. Obviously, he had the taller frame, and it's going to be a great fight. And I'm picking for this fight to go to a decision in favor of Brian Battle. And the next fight is going to be Aljamain Sterling versus Movsar Evloev. Now, I'm going to pick Movsar Evloev to win this fight again by doctor stoppage from confusion of Aljamain Sterling, knee to the face on the ground. Just kidding, guys. Just kidding. Actually, Aljamain Sterling, one of my favorite fighters. I believe he has what it takes to become two division champion. I believe he can become a champion at featherweight. And I'm going to pick Aljamain Sterling actually to win this fight via holding down on the ground. All right. Then we're going to move on to Themba Gorimbo versus Vicente Luque. And Themba Gorimbo, guys, if you haven't heard his story, he's an extraordinary story from where he came from his country in Africa to be where he is right now in the UFC, doing what he's doing, fighting at the highest level of the game. It's an incredible story, and he seems to be one of those guys who is focused. He's married, children, and he's on a mission. He is on it, and he doesn't believe he can lose, and neither do I. So I believe that he's going to beat Vicente Luque via submission. So we have Themba Gorimbo via submission. And now we move on to Dominic Reyes versus Anthony Lionheart Smith. Those guys have one thing in common. They both fought John Jones for the light heavyweight title, and with close results. As a matter of fact, many people, including myself, sorry, John Jones, I know you're the greatest. I believe you are the greatest, but many people still believe today that Dominic Reyes that night won the belt. And frankly, you wonder, when those fighters who came so close did so well, sacrificed so much to get to that point, to climb the mountain and got there, and whoever was supposed to hand them the highest reward didn't do it. You wonder if that could have played a factor in Dominic Reyes' mind, and we saw him kind of slipped down a bit since that fight. since after that fight with John Jones. But it seems like he may be on a resurgence. He may be having a different mindset now and is trying to come back around and hopefully put himself in a situation to fight for the belt again. So, and again, Anthony Smith versus John Jones was a close fight as well. I love both of those guys. Anthony Smith, great analyst, is doing great job at the UFC. It's hard for me to pick among those two guys who's going to win this fight, but I'm gonna go with Dominic Reyes by knockout, true knockout. Okay, and then we're gonna move on to Bryce Mitchell versus Crown Gracie. I believe Bryce Mitchell, the Thug Nasty, is going to win this fight. He's going to flatten Crown Gracie just as flat as their earth is. All right, so this is my predictions for this fight, and we're gonna move on to Cyril. Now, no, let me take my time to pronounce it properly for you guys, all you Americans out there. Lazy, can't pronounce the man's name properly. His name is Cyril Gane, okay? Quit saying Gone. Cyril Gane. Cyril Gane versus Alexander Volkov. Those two gentlemen fought before, and Cyril Gane won the fight. And I believe this time again that Cyril Gane is going to win this fight. As a matter of fact, I believe Cyril Gane is probably the guy who will give more problems to Tom Aspinall. And I'm saying this because we all can see Tom Aspinall eventually will become the heavyweight champions. Because obviously whether he fight John Jones or not, if he doesn't fight John Jones, then he's probably gonna be crowned as the actual heavyweight champion. Let's say if John Jones release the heavyweight title, then Tom Aspinall would be the champion automatically, or he would fight somebody pretty quickly to determine who is the champion. And if they fight, if they fight, John John can beat, even if John John beats him, but there is a chance that John Jones decide to retire. And if he decides to retire, then Tom Aspinall is gonna go right back around and fight somebody else for the title. And I believe he has what it takes to be the heavyweight champion. But I believe if he has a threat on the heavyweight division right now, it is Cyril Gane. So needless to say, I'm going to pick Cyril Gane to win this fight again, and this time via knockout. And I'm talking about real knockout, lights out, go to sleep. Alexander Volkov, he's a great fighter. He's been doing great lately. But I believe Cyril Gane is going to sleep him tonight. And now we move on to, we're going to skip Shavkot Rhamanov versus Ian Garry, as I believe that should have been the main event of the card. Unfortunately, none of those guys has a belt to fight for. So we have the two little guys, Alexandre Pantoja versus Kai Asakura, fighting for the belt, and they're going to be the main event, but we'll talk about those guys now first. Okay, so I'm going to pick this fight to go to a decision. And what a story it is. How rare it is for somebody to come into the UFC and land a title shot on your debut. This is extraordinary. Obviously, this also shows the star power of Kai Sakura, his skills and abilities, because obviously the UFC wouldn't award him a title shot on his first fight in the UFC. But I'm going to pick Alexandre Pantoja to win this fight. It's going to go to a decision. It's going to be all blooded up. They're both going to be blooded up. There's going to be a lot of action, a lot of movement. Alexandre Pantoja, he's good wherever the fight goes. But, obviously those little guys don't have as much power in their hands, as much strength as somebody like Volkov or Gane has. So they're going to be punching each other. And Alexandre Pantoja, he's a good chin. I think it's going to go to a decision in favor of Alexandre Pantoja. And now it's going to be kind of tough for Kai Asakura, because you have a title shot on your debut, and now if you lose, then you have to go down the ranking and start fighting other guys to climb up again. But this is my prediction for Alexandre Pantoja by decision, which leads us now to another semi-Brazilian, Ian Machado Garry, right? That's a 50% Brazilian, wife Brazilian, lives in Brazil apparently to train, and he seems to really fall in love with the Brazilian culture, his wife and all this kind of stuff. You see, he's training with likes of Charles Oliveira, so he's becoming a true part of this culture, and obviously he's gone through some little things in the media with the Neil Magny stuff, some stupid things, wife's ex-husband and all this crazy, but it seems that they're all behind him right now, and the man is on a mission. He seems one of those guys, like I was saying about Themba Goemba, one of those guys on a mission, especially at a time when the true Irish star is dimming out with all those scandals going around. So it seems like this is the new star from Ireland. Actually, we will be talking about the big star of Ireland, Conor McGregor, in a different video. So stay tuned. It's coming to you. And I think it's going to be a very, very important discussion that you won't want to miss. But for now, this young star of Ireland seems to be on a mission. It seems to be his time. At the beginning, just like most of you guys, I thought he was going to be an easy pick for Shavkot Rhamanov, but I have changed my mind because, as I say, the man seems to be on a mission, has a child, has a Brazilian wife, he's emerging himself in the Brazilian culture, having all these people around him, he's learning how to grapple, he's learning all this stuff. So Ian Garry said something that's very important. He said when they fought, he didn't let it all go. He didn't show all he had. It was just not fun. I mean, when they trained together, that was training. But he said this Saturday, they're going to stand across each other and they're going to put everything they know and everything they have, all the skills they have in front of each other, and they're going to go at it. And I'm going to pick Ian Garry to win via running around the octagon and avoid Shavkot Rhamanov. And that's it. So Ian Garry via decision. Those are my predictions, guys. Again, please go to the comment section. Let me know what you think. Share your own predictions or counter my predictions. Agree, disagree, whatever you want to do. But I also want you to share this video, to subscribe to our channel. That would truly help us, guys. So I would really appreciate it. Until I see you again, peace out and have a good time at UFC 310.